recorded in the Rugby Clubhouse at Johnny's Tavern in Lawrence, Kansas. This is the Jayhawk Rugby Rundown. We welcome everybody back to another episode of the Jayhawk Rugby Rundown. We've got another episode here for you with two awesome guests. On my left here is Mike Callahan. Welcome to the podcast. And John, and I don't know if I've ever pronounced your name right. It's Koenig?
It's Koenig.
Koenig. Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have been pronouncing it right, maybe.
I get all sorts of different pronunciations.
All right.
I've just gotten used to it.
So
it looks nothing like it's spelled.
I know.
Koenig.
That's right.
Koenig.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with some very simple, basic questions, just like we always do here. One-word responses, kind of rapid fire to loosen up before we jump into everything. So, Mike, what's your favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food? Steak.
Steak?
Gotta go with the steak. As of recently.
How do you like it
Steak?
cooked?
Oh, medium rare.
Medium
you gotta
rare.
do medium rare, you know?
Purist? No well done? No.
Yeah, no, you get all the juices out of it, and then it's like cardboard at that point.
You have a favorite restaurant?
Yeah, in town, I'd have to go Jay Wilson's.
Nice. Any particular reason why?
I mean, yeah, for good reason. I do work there.
Uh-huh.
I'm a server there, so I serve tables. So that definitely has an influence on it. So I get like half off. But overall, like, it's good quality food,
Right.
and you know, the half off is just it's a
That's
deal.
a perk.
It's a deal right
Absolutely.
there.
What's your favorite food, John?
Gotta be barbecue.
Barbecue?
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Brisket, ribs, sausage, pulled pork?
A lot of pulled pork. I'm real big on the pulled pork sandwiches. Burn ends for sure. That's the hot one right now. It has been for a while, but you know, growing up in Kansas City, that was just kind of bred into me.
So we got to get the real big question here. What's the best place to get barbecue in Kansas City?
Tough.
I don't know. Personal favorite is Jack Stack.
Okay.
Their poor boy sandwich, the chopped burn ends.
Right.
It's delicious. But I'm also pretty partial to Joe's.
Oh, sure.
Their Rocket Pig, which is kind of a hot take on the pulled pork sandwich, is phenomenal. They've got great burn ends. Jack Stack's got great burn ends. I think it's the carrot cake at Jack Stack that pulls me over.
That's going to be the one that tips the balance.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Favorite color?
Ooh, that's tough. Maybe red.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are both wearing your red tops tonight.
Yeah.
Gotta represent.
So is
It's a
red
media shirt, man,
right?
You know.
red your favorite also?
No, I'd say blue.
Blue?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are going the Trevor route. He said crimson and blue,
Yeah.
KU
Oh, yeah.
colors. So you guys are going that way?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dehoy, or was it, might have been Nas said turquoise.
Did he
Oh
really?
yeah, no, I think that was D.
Was it
That was
Dehoy?
Hoy, yeah. You know, that's just there's
It's
a lot
a
of
good
different colors out there, you know.
It's a good color.
a
It
very
changes it up.
particular, yeah.
Favorite movie?
Oh, you know, I'm a sucker for Joe Rogan and or not Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen,
Okay.
and
You're thinking podcast with Joe Rogan.
exactly, you know. But Seth Rogen and James Franco, that combination is absolutely hilarious. So Pineapple Express, This Is the End, The Interview, those are all gems.
Fun
Comedy
stuff.
gems, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I watch a lot of movies.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I never watch them more than 2 or 3 times. So right now, Everything Everywhere All at Once is my favorite movie.
I don't know that one.
I haven't seen that yet,
What
but I
is
wanted
that?
to watch it.
It's
No
kind of
spoilers, but what is it?
it's a kind of like a multiverse movie.
Okay.
It came out around the same time as the new Doctor Strange.
Okay. Is it part of that Marvel universe? also
No,
then,
it's
or-
not. It's an A24 Films.
Okay.
If you know Midsommar, that was another one of their big
Yeah.
ones.
Okay.
So it's a pretty trippy movie, but it's based around this immigrant family who runs a dry cleaning business, and the mom's got to save the world from her daughter from another universe.
Oh, okay.
He was
It's
trying
like
to destroy it.
multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to watch it. I've heard great things about it. I just haven't really gotten to it.
It's
know?
really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I like it.
Cool.
So you have been visiting all over Kansas, the Great Wide Opens of Paola.
Okay.
You were just talking about you're going to Colorado here
Yeah.
next week.
Uh-huh.
Favorite places to travel, or where would you want to travel? Where would you want to visit?
Okay. Anywhere where I got family in New Orleans, so I got a sister there. New Orleans is awesome. Really humid though sometimes. You gotta be careful when you go in there in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Walk outside and you're already showered up in sweat. So, but also I got a sister in Europe, Paris. I love visiting her. So anywhere I travel, just visiting with family. So
Very cool.
yeah,
Those are two pretty sweet places to have family to be able to crash up, New Orleans and Paris.
absolutely.
What about you, John?
I don't know. For me, probably mountains. It's probably
Okay.
my favorite place to go. I spent a summer in Northern California.
Nice.
Some good mountains up there, and then obviously I'm going to Colorado here soon.
Right.
Colorado's always beautiful, always a good time.
We don't have mountains in Kansas.
No.
That's for sure.
You ever been to Mount Sunflower? It's the highest point in Kansas.
Is that like
It's a,
up north of Manhattan?
No, it's kind of a joke. It's way
Okay.
on the Colorado border. Just
Really?
because there's that slow, gradual climb
Mhm.
before you hit the Rockies.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's maybe a little hill,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
just because of how high it is, it's like right on the Colorado border. There's a barbed wire fence that's the state line between the two, and on the other side is like the lowest point in Colorado.
Really? Okay.
It's just kind of funny. They call it Mount Sunflower, but it's just a
Yeah.
high spot on the road.
We got Mount Oread here in Lawrence.
That's right.
That's all we need right
It's
there.
definitely more of a hill than that. Dogs or cats?
Oh man, that's tough, man. I actually just recently got a cat, little kitten. He's adorable. I mean, he's awesome. But like dogs, they're kind of dumber or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I dogs.
Dogs?
Just dogs. It's
All right.
man's best friend.
There you
know?
go.
Dogs, hands down.
No, not a cat person.
I grew up with cats. I love cats, but being as allergic as I am
Mhm.
and, never meeting a dog that didn't love me,
Right.
I'd have to say dogs for
That's
sure.
it.
See, I'm allergic to cats too, but ever since I got one, it's like that went away. Like the
Yeah.
first couple of days, I had like a stuffy nose, but now it's like it'll sleep like literally like right on my neck, and never wake up with stuffed nose anymore. You just kind of like get used to it in a
Mhm.
way, But
If money were no object, I'm going to start with John on this one, just to mix it up.
Mhm.
What would you buy if you had any amount of money to do whatever you wanted?
Probably a Sprinter van, get it all souped up and never work again and just travel everywhere.
Right.
And it's like that would
okay.
Sprinter van or maybe a yacht as well to put the Sprinter van on and go across the ocean.
That's pretty cool. Are you a sailor, or you'd learn or hire somebody if money you're no
I
object?
did sailing once at Boy Scout camp
Right.
over the summer, got my sailing merit badge, but I've
Not a
never done
yacht.
it. Never done it before besides that.
Where would you go?
If money wasn't a
Or what would you do if
what
money
would
were
I
no
do?
object?
Oh man, I like that having a means of transportation, because you can, get around efficiently and, so maybe like a plane or something.
See,
I mean, you'd have to learn how to fly it, but it'd be well worth it.
right?
Mhm.
Like an own like private plane, very efficient, fast, all that.
So you guys are all about the travel.
Yeah,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
it's a big
That's
world out
what it
there for
is.
sure.
That's really cool,
Yeah.
actually. And then the big final warm-up question here. What's your favorite curse word?
Oh, dude, all of them.
All of them?
All of them, man.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, hearing Tom Richards say the word twat is golden. Like, that is hilarious.
It's pretty
So
funny.
him using it in context it's comedy.
Tom does have a pretty good twat, but my favorite curse word is cunt.
Is
I,
it?
Yeah.
I use it a little too much
Since
around
we
my
theme
family.
here with these words.
Right.
So, talking about travel, one of the big things that's come out recently is the schedule for this fall, knowing where the college and the club sides are going to play and having that. And starting out on August 27th with a road trip to Colorado, Boulder, playing up there.
Oh yeah.
What are you guys thinking about with this schedule? What do you see that's good, bad, makes you nervous, makes you think, or?
I mean, first thing first with Boulder, like the elevation and everything, conditioning is going to be critical.
Mhm.
Making sure, our bodies are in shape right for that, because that elevation is going to be no joke, and it's the first game of the season.
Right.
So that's just a double whammy right there. So something to look forward to with that is just conditioning. I've noticed the two we play each team in our division twice, both home and away. Personally, I think that's great. You know, there's no we played them there, we had to travel. It's more of like, you know, you get a real feel for playing both teams.
It is kind of like either basketball where you do one home, one away, or some of the international rugby stuff where you play, you know, a series of 2 or 3 games with another team. And with the way our conference is set up, since Oklahoma State dropped out and Truman State dropped out of the north end of the division, that means we're playing K-State, Mizzou, and Arkansas twice, once home, once away this fall. Plus, was it Colorado, Indiana, Wichita Men's Club, the Kansas City Blues. I know I'm forgetting one in there too.
Rugby Football Club, KC Rugby Football Club.
Yeah, that's right.
And that might be all of them.
I know we have a club side match against Wayne State. I think that's the weekend of our home match against MU.
Saw that, yeah.
Right. That's our homecoming alumni weekend.
Okay.
I'm not sure what we call it. I think it's alumni.
I think alumni weekend.
Yeah. Is that alumni weekend? Because I know also some of the guys are going to Aspen that got invited from last season. And that I think there is a clubside game that weekend as well.
Yeah, that weekend's pretty packed up. Because like you mentioned, in Aspen, Colorado, there's the Heart of America All-Stars game, or whatever it's called. So some of the guys are going to be playing up there. Plus we have Mizzou for a home match. Plus we have Wayne State for a clubside match. Plus we're hosting 2 women's rugby matches that day also.
That should be fun to watch.
So there's going to be a lot of rugby going on. I'm trying to remember what date that is. I think it's in October.
Okay.
September, October. I need to pull it up.
Right.
I don't know. We can edit
something. It looks busy,
Yeah.
though. I got to say, like, it looks busy. There's a lot of rugby to be played, so that is, you know, that's just great. You know, I mean, that's what we're here for.
No off weeks.
Yeah.
Between now and November 12th when the conference tournament is.
Yeah. So,
Right.
you know, that's a grind in itself right there.
And you guys
So.
plan on making that, I'm assuming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's just motivation right there, of course.
Right.
All that to be played, all that to learn from and everything.
You know, we're gunning for another undefeated conference season. And
Sure.
I have no doubt we can do it.
That's really the goal, you know, and that's the mindset of, you know, KU.
So the first 2 matches are Colorado and Indiana, which are 2 D1 teams. That's a step in front of us. Does that make you pause, think, whatever it is, especially coming so early in the season? Or
I don't think it really makes me pause. I think it's a great way to, you know, test our abilities first thing in the season, see where we need to improve. You know, look back at last year, we were supposed to start the spring semester with a match at Lindenwood, and a lot of you know, I was talking with a few other guys, and we were like, you know, we haven't experienced a loss this year, and you know, if you don't get punched in the mouth, you can get complacent. And I think it's a great opportunity to compare ourselves to some varsity clubs and, you know, see where we can really change our game to make that next step.
Right, because I don't think we played any varsity Division I teams last year. Supposed to play Indiana last fall, and that didn't happen. And then Lindenwood didn't happen because of weather.
Right.
You got to make up for it real quick here, back to back.
Yeah, and you know, playing those teams are obviously well structured teams. They're you know, they've got players that are good, but so do we. And so it'll be a battle, and it'll be a test, and if anything, we're just gonna get better from it. And so there's nothing there to, you know, not take advantage of. You know, it's just gonna be a learning experience, and we're gonna fight for it. You know, and the goal of KU, go undefeated, win. So it's gonna be competitive. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be tough.
So what are you doing to get ready for that over the summer here? Couch potatoes, video games, that kind of thing? What's going on?
A lot of conditioning. You know, staying in the gym, staying focused. And you know, that's what the rugby is all about for me personally, is having that motivation, having that teammates to rely on, and just grinding. So doing calisthenics, whatever it is, conditioning, playing in tournaments and stuff over the summer, practicing with city teams, and staying on the grind for sure.
Right on.
Yeah, I've been going to the Kansas City Blues Sevens practices when I
Nice.
can. Mikey's made it out for a few of those, so those have definitely helped, especially with the technical skills and the kind of like speed and conditioning of it. Besides that, staying in the gym, getting the conditioning in. We've made it out to a few of the Lawrence guys have been going out to Lawrence High, doing some work out there. Besides that, just trying to stay healthy, take care of my body, and
Right. So sevens is a whole different beast, especially for a forward. Somebody's used to playing in the pack. How do you make that transition, or is it one of those things where you're just more out there for the fun, the conditioning?
I mean, I chose not to compete on the weekends with the Blues this summer.
Okay.
Just go out to the practices. But, I thought sevens was pretty fun. Full disclosure, coming into the club last year, I considered going out for center.
Oh, really?
And then we broke up to forwards and backs for the first time, and I was kind of looked over at our pack and our backs and was like, I'm going to go with the big guys.
Right. You saw where the need was for the pack or for you?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
The one prior year of experience I had was in high school, and that was my senior year, coming off playing offensive line in football to the spring. I played every position in the pack but hooker.
Right.
So it was like, okay, I'm a little bit more comfortable here anyways.
Right. But, Mike, you went out and played the sevens tournament in Columbia last weekend, right?
Yeah.
With the Kansas team?
Kansas City Rugby Football Club.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
Andy Merrikovich was the coach, Merrick's dad, and it was great. I've done sevens before. First time was when we traveled to Iowa sometime in March, I think. It was cold as shit.
Right.
And we had a hell of a time, though. We were out there just running around. It was a huge learning experience for me. Overall, I got to say the pace of the game's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
It's a whole different beast. But there's a lot to learn from that, especially when you're playing a back position, even if you're playing a forward position. Having that intensity in 15s, if you can have that sort of intensity and, kind of translate that over, it's only going to make you a quicker, better, faster team. Sevens, it was a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
So you didn't play rugby in high school. You were a basketball guy. Is that right?
Well, I didn't. I played. So actually what happened was my junior year of high school, I got cut from the basketball team.
Okay.
And so I was looking for a sport to play, and rugby was that sport. So I kind of got introduced to it, and it was definitely it was a good one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What high school club did you play for?
The Olathe Gents,
Okay.
and there was about 18 of us, and we did good. We actually made it to the state championship that year, and there being only 18 guys, you get a whole lot of playing time.
Oh, yeah.
So, you just get kind of thrown into it, and you just learn from the mistakes.
Very cool.
And just keep grinding from it.
And you just said you played high school football and just 1 year of high school rugby?
Yeah, just 1 year of high school rugby.
So how did you get sucked into the rugby experience?
It was before baseball tryouts had started, and I was kind of already on the fence. I wasn't a big fan of my high school baseball coach.
Gotcha.
I was definitely more of a club baseball guy. But I had a buddy text me one day. He was like, hey, you want to come out to rugby? And I was like, sure. It's like didn't know too much about it. I had a cousin who played here at KU, Philip Azorkowitz, and really good family friend, Cody Weber, they played here at the same time. And I was like, all right, let's do this. It was something I knew very little about, but fell in love with really quickly.
And the rest is history.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Leawood. I went to Blue Valley North High School and played for Blue Valley Rugby Club.
And you went to...
I went to Olathe East, but I moved to Kansas when I was 16. I grew up in Bloomington, Normal. That's like two towns, kind of a twin city town.
Illinois?
In Illinois, yeah, right. Central Illinois. So when I moved here when I was 16, I just had 2 years of high school. in Kansas.
So was KU always going to be the school that you went to? Did rugby have any influence in that, or was it just as long as I'm going to KU, I know rugby, I'm going to play rugby while I'm here?
So for me personally, KU just it sounded awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Big school, seemed like a lot of opportunity, and how I got introduced to rugby was actually working at Jay Wilson's. Rick Renfro comes in, and he's wearing a KU rugby shirt, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I used to play rugby. So I asked him, and he was like, you should make it out to one of the trainings. So, that's how I got introduced to KU rugby.
So it wasn't a direct leap from Olathe Gentleman to coming to KU and playing rugby.
Yeah, no.
You actually worked at one of Rick or Nancy's restaurant.
Right.
And that's how you end up roped into it. So
yeah, I just kind of, through the
it's like
through
the mob,
brand, if
you try to get out and they suck you back in, kind of a deal, huh?
Yeah, and I was just like, that's awesome, KU rugby.
Right.
Like, let's give it a shot. And first training, second training, it was a really welcoming group, and it was a brotherhood type brotherhood. I could just immediately pick up on that.
Right on.
And from there, it was just I committed to it. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it pretty much was always KU was where I was going. Both my parents came here in the 80s. Grew up a KU fan. I applied to a couple other schools that I got in, but I was like, I want to be a Jayhawk. I've always been a Jayhawk.
Right.
This is my first year at the club, and I think I came out to 3 or 4 practices my freshman year. One of my fraternity brothers, Riley Botts, brought me out, but it never really stuck for me. Didn't have my own transportation, didn't really get to know the guys at that point well enough to ask for a ride.
Right.
But over COVID, I was kind of looking for community here in Lawrence, and I actually emailed the club and heard back from Matt Schwartz probably about a month before our preseason training week started up last year.
Right.
And he got me set up with everything. He got me in contact with Trevor, and just kind of hit the ground running and never looked back.
So freshman year a little bit, sophomore year COVID, nothing happened. Last year was your junior year.
Academically, yeah. I took a couple years off between that freshman and sophomore year.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So are you going to actually graduate this next academic year? Is that the plan?
That was the plan. And then I found out that my major had been restructured. I'm in behavioral neuroscience, which is I think it's going on its 3rd year at KU. And the way it was restructured is that I could take fewer classes, but there was a capstone that was added that I didn't have the prereq for yet. So I'll have 3 more semesters at KU.
Okay. Very cool.
But this is going to be my last year of eligibility.
Right. But you still got the club side to sit around and play with.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else.
Club side, man. That's where it's at.
What are you studying, Mike?
Oh, so, I study general psychology. Get my bachelor's in that. And I'll have that bachelor's in December. So, graduating in December. And, yeah, pondering grad school for sure. Just looking at options as far as, there's a lot of colleges across the nation. And whichever one will have my best interest in it. So just doing some research on that for sure.
Right.
Kind of weighing that out.
So 2 seniors, one with 1 semester left, one with 3 semesters left, technically. What are your plans for afterwards? You mentioned grad school, whether it's probably somewhere else, probably not here, or whatever.
It's still up in the air.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Is rugby going to be part of that future for either one of you in any way, shape, or form? Or is it kind of once you're done playing here?
We're focusing on what we got in front of us right now.
Sure.
And, the KU Rugby's just, it's a great program,
Yeah.
So, I'll go play rugby somewhere else. But for now, it's just, I'm going to enjoy this semester for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think rugby will be something that sticks with me post-grad. Whether that's playing or coaching or as a supporter, I think I'm going to do my best to keep my ties with KU Rugby.
We'll harass you for money and fundraising at the very least. Biological neuroscience, he's going to have some money, I think.
Yeah.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, right.
Especially with all the traveling I want to do.
Right. Fair enough. So what is it about rugby that makes you want to stay involved? What's the best part? Is it the social side? Is it the athletic? Is it the teammates, camaraderie?
I mean, it's all that. You know, it's everything that you know we appreciate for what it's done. Personally, for me, I think it's made me a better person. It teaches me values that are just, you know, that I live by and that are just very meaningful. And you know, that's personally for me, that's it. And
Making it sound like a very religious, spiritual kind of experience.
It is really like the experience itself. I mean, you know, you grow a lot through the sport, and just going out there every single game on the field, you know, you get those feelings of, you know, every game is different. So like, you know, you walk onto the field and if you do a good job, you feel good. You know, you've done something and you grind. Like, you know, they say 95% of rugby is training, 5% is actually playing the sport. And that's kind of just like life, you know, like you just preparation meets opportunity. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like that deal. So
right on. It's pretty well spoken.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
I mean, I came in looking for the community, and that's a big reason why I'm staying with it. Mm-hmm. You know, I couldn't be more thankful for the brothers I've made out there with the KU club. You know, rugby really pushes your boundaries and the competitiveness, not just, you know, with other teams, other clubs, but with each other and with yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, always pushing to be the best version of yourself is something I've really gained out of rugby.
Definitely.
And, you know, like Mikey said, it's, you know, every game is individual, but, you know, out there on the pitch, I really just kind of fall into that flow state. And, you know, being able to just do and not think is part of what I think is a really enjoyable aspect of rugby for me.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you do it for your brothers, you know. Like, you do all this work, but it's to represent, you know, the team and the brotherhood and all that, so for sure.
We're about 3 weeks out right now from that work really starting on August 15th when team practices begin. What's your mindset and your focus getting ready for the season? We kind of talked about the schedule and the games coming up and all that, but of course there's so much more to it.
Yeah. There's
going to be a lot of new guys coming out. There's going to be some guys that we're used to seeing there that aren't going to be here anymore.
Sure.
How do you prepare for that first week of training and then combining all of it with school when that starts up the following week and into the season?
You know, like John's saying, be the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. That's right on target right there. Definitely welcoming the new guys and bringing that energy just to the first day, just that you know, the morals, the values, and making it exciting, you know, bring the intensity and make it one hell of a year.
Right.
You know, from the very beginning, like that first day. So
what are you most looking forward to? Is it the traveling? Is it road trips to Colorado again?
I think that was definitely some of the most unique experiences from last year, the few road trips we had, let alone Dallas. Dallas was, you know, a whole fever dream.
Right.
But traveling's always fun. But I mean, even just, you know, 3-4 days a week with your boys is, you know, it's a great time to have. And, you know, you can't really let any of it escape you. Just enjoying every part of it.
And for me, like my last semester, it's definitely going to be focusing on that bigger picture of the brotherhood and the team itself. Because, you know, I'm going to have these friends for a lifetime. You know, some of these guys, most of them, all these guys, you know, they're great friends. They got my back, and, you know, I learn from them. They're great. Right. They're great people.
So some people always worry that a commitment like rugby, where it's practicing Tuesday, Thursday, Friday with captain's run, matches on Saturday,
sure,
plus some travel, and then on top of that, you're working jobs And on top of that, of course, you're going to school, and you guys are taking some, real coursework here. You're not just, basket weaving or whatever else, but some actual studies. Did you find that you're the type of person who handles that kind of requirement to be organized, or is rugby something that actually added to it? Because some people will say it's too much time, it's too much of a commitment. I don't know how to balance my schedule, how to organize what I need to so I can, take care of myself, take care of my work life, take care of my academic life, still have some sort of social life. And others say, no, rugby helped me focus in on that and actually get myself organized. Which way is it? Because it sounds like both of you are pretty organized at this point.
Yeah.
Is it the chicken or the egg?
I definitely think that, rugby helped add structure to my week aside from my courses. Because afternoon, my work schedule wasn't very consistent, but I had rugby Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I definitely think it also helped me, get away from the stress that is school and working. It definitely helped in that aspect.
Yeah. Emotional release.
Yeah.
Playing rugby for sure. Especially on Saturdays,
Right. So what is the biggest thing you're looking forward to next year? Is it?
Oh, man.
Dealing some hits.
Yeah.
Winning.
Yeah.
Just bringing the team, having, better relationships, all that. And, winning.
I mean, last year was pretty special with a lot of winning going on, except for the very last game of the year, which kind of sucks.
Right. That was your first season as well, too, right? My first season, too.
Guys are spoiled coming in.
Right. So
I'm really excited to see how this club grows.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Captain Chandler's gone. He's off pursuing MLR dreams.
Right.
And, in my personal experience, I haven't seen a better ball distributor than him, a better 10. And I'm excited to see how the club deals with that and, working towards our goal of making that national championship again.
Yeah.
So what changes do you foresee you as individuals making, or the team needing to make to, stay out there and compete and get back to where the goals are?
I mean, personally, like bringing others up, helping them reach their full potential. And for me, that's huge. I just want to be the best that I can be, but also be the best asset to the team and bring the best out of the players and try to fit the piece that I fit,
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. So
You're looking to stay at that fly half position?
Fly half, definitely. And I like to, I can play wing. That's a position that, that I have the skill set for, I feel like, but also fullback. That position is similar to fly half in the sense that you have a vision on the field, which that's sort of the aspect I really like of fly half, is having the vision. But that comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Do you have any thoughts about what you'd like to change or improve upon, or how do we get back to the top of the mountain? Or
I mean, I have my personal goals, but to get back to the top of the mountain, it's a team effort. It's,
sure.
I'd like to, kind of take a step more towards leadership on the field, off the field, with, development as players and, just skills in general, setting an example for newer guys, helping push the guys who have been around a little bit.
Yep.
I've taken a position on the field committee, so I'm helping out at Westwick, keep the fields real nice, get everything set up for game days. Just had first meeting as part of that downstairs with Rick and Ruzig. But
yeah, doing the work off the field too.
Yeah,
it's huge. I mean, I heard somebody say one time that, like, if you just show up to practice and put on your cleats and then leave and go home, like, there's more to the club than just that.
Right.
So there's a lot more that goes into that. And, us as players, we just do whatever we can do to further improve, everything, the club and players.
So one of the things that we're trying to do is find that balance between, old guys like me and you guys as the actual student athletes, between, ownership to where, we don't want to do everything, but we don't think you guys should do everything because you're doing so much already. So where do we find that balance that, works best for everybody and produces the best club, the best system, everything that we can here?
Absolutely.
And we're trying to do that with this new executive committee type of organization where we're asking people to join different committees or groups that interest them, like the field committee, something like that. Are you part of the executive committee, or what aspects of the club outside of just putting on your cleats and showing up to practice?
Right. Actually, I'm not actually involved currently in any of those positions, but when anybody reaches out to me for help, whether it's like Schwartz asking me if I can help set up something for him, he sent in the group chat like August 6th he needed help setting up like a venue somewhere. I'm here for that. Really anywhere where I can help. I mean, everyone has their schedule, it's busy and whatnot, but I clear my schedule for those type of things and to help and to go the extra mile, really, outside not just on the rugby field.
Well, one thing that we're looking for that first week of training is the people who are the leaders for all these different little aspects are going to be asking for you all to step up and join a committee to be a part of it. Yeah, they'll be the leaders, but they're going to be reliant on 4 or 5 or 6 other people to help them run that aspect of the club too. So
yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Try to get more ownership and feeling into it, So
it takes a village.
Yeah, that's part of it, and the other part is the more that people actually get involved and do stuff, the more that you feel like, hey, this is my club. It's not just I'm playing for somebody or.
Yeah, of course.
It's about it seems like it's a whole community instead of just a club team.
Right.
It's like I did a semester or 2 with the ultimate team, and I'd go out to practices, and that was about it. Like there wasn't really too much going on outside of that. And rugby, it's it seems like there's an opportunity every single day to go and do something.
Right.
Yeah, and I actually I remember last what was it? The transition from fall to spring, that winter break. We were told to write down our goals, and we had goals, and one of mine was to get more involved in the community service through the team, and that's still something that's in the back of my head, is to I know we did highway pickup, but also like there's a lot more opportunities that we can get involved in, community service.
I know we've done some Habitat for Humanity stuff in the past as well,
and we've done
right.
We definitely have, but personally I want to get involved in it too.
So. Very cool. Are there any particular organizations that we need to set up some relationships with, or just show up with,
question.
10, 12 guys, say, hey, you got
who needs
for
us?
An afternoon or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know, be something to brainstorm and talk about, especially with some of the, one of our committees is the social side of things. And part of that, of course, is organizing, hosting the teams that come in and play us, and, some of the different social things that we do, but part of that probably also fits under, outreach and community work and things like that too. Oh, yeah. So Luke Lechtenberg and George Barron are those 2 guys who are leading up that.
And there's
something to work with.
Always, some sort of community outreach or, community service going on here in Lawrence. I know town's huge on that.
Of course.
Definitely. So it's kind of a special place. Lawrence is like that. But thinking back again to travel, after this season, this spring, we're talking about a tour for next spring. Have you guys heard about this, or?
Just a little bit. Nothing about the specifics.
So we usually like to tour every other year, for sure. We haven't done so because of COVID and everything else that's going on in the world. But we're looking at doing something again, late May, early June, here in North America to try and prevent the travel. We're looking at going to the Pacific Northwest through like Washington State, Vancouver, and into British Columbia a little bit.
Great opportunity right there.
Tour up there. You guys haven't had a chance to go on a tour with this club yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Not yet, no.
No? Have you heard any stories or?
Yeah, actually.
We just ran into guy who was a photographer for, I think, the 82 tour.
83? Was it 82, 83?
Early 80s. His name was Sean Williams.
Yeah.
But we ran into him at Lawrence High. We were doing Bronco runs with Chandler and Omar, and he was just out there doing the dog days, and he stops by and we start chatting, and he had some good stories. Had only match he's ever played, he scored an international try and then got beat up the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories from them. I mentioned my cousin, my buddy Cody earlier. They've gone on tours with the club, and I've heard some stories from them too. It always seems like a great time.
Yeah, and he was telling stories about Doug McCarthy.
Macaulay,
excuse me.
Yeah.
And just sounds like some things never change. He's just being a real funny guy. Just making jokes all the time on and off the field. And what they say, he said like he was a wing, number 11, and someone, I think he said his legs look like the numbers, number 11.
Right.
So just being funny out there and making people laugh.
One of those New Zealanders asked, they're like, "Why are you wearing your number on your legs? You're supposed to have it on your jersey."
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
What should we talk about that I haven't asked you or we haven't gotten to yet? What are some of the things that are on your mind?
I'd say for people that are wanting to join the club or haven't yet, I think you should do it. I think it's a great opportunity to commit yourself to something that's that makes KU or like a big school feel smaller than what it is, and gives you like a tight brotherhood, And if you're not into like fraternal organizations, which I can totally understand, then the rugby team, it's great. It's got great social, and it's got great, if you're into sports, it's got great athletic opportunities. You look at Chandler, like he's potentially going to be in the MLR, and so and he played at KU, so that's just great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a great platform for athletes to go out and to compete and organizationally. So
very cool.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as on that recruiting vibe for KU, just hit anyone up on Instagram. We've got a huge Instagram presence, but I mean, even if you're not going to KU, try to find a local club you can play for. Like, it's a great sport for everybody. I'm not sure how many, rugby newbies we'll have listening to this, but always got to plug the sport to whoever.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's hard to find somebody who's involved with it that doesn't just absolutely love it and dive into it. You see a few people who flake out, one or two, and it's not for them. That's totally cool. But once people are in, it seems like they're in. There's something about it, not just here, but anywhere.
Yeah, and for those people that do, they go to like one or two trainings and they're like, oh, I don't know if this is my thing. Like, I'd say just keep your head up and keep grinding. And like, what you put into the club is almost what you can get out of it. So, if you're just showing up to maybe one training and like, God forbid, just a Saturday just to play, it's like, I don't know how much you'll truthfully get out of that if you're not truly committed to it and taking it seriously and focusing on it. So
and it's not just the athletic side. There's so many different aspects to get involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a huge alumni club, and it's got a lot of history to it. It's got a lot of excitement to it, and to be a part of it is definitely something to appreciate.
It's awesome. You guys have any final thoughts or anything before we wrap it up?
I will say we probably got to get started on, alumni reunion for the 2031 World Cups.
Right. That's true.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that'll be a hell of a time.
Just get generations of KU rugby players out to some of those matches.
Men in 31, the Women's World Cup in 33 here also.
Yeah.
So
it's exciting news.
It's going to be really cool.
That's a great point.
We'll see if Kansas City gets to host a couple.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if we could get involved with that somehow, of course. But
yeah. Well, hey, man, thank you, Marcus, for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys taking the time and chatting. And we'll have this up in the next couple of days here. We'll do this one. We have one more podcast scheduled before training starts on August 15th. And then things are definitely going to shift from there.
Yeah.
So All right. Thank you much.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.